2-2. Welcome back to the Orchard, Pippins fans. I'm Harmon Johnson here with Pippins head coach Kyle Crestangel. We just got done with a 6-game road trip, one of the longest road trips I think I've ever been a part of in this league. Reflect on going to Ridgefield and then the adventure that was getting up to Edmonton.
Yeah, the one thing I do like about road trips, despite the late nights, and that was definitely a crazy one, is the closeness to the guys. You really get a chance to feel the guys off the field. They get a chance to bond. They're stuck together for 6 days. They're on a bus, an airplane, whatever else modes of transportation. So I like it from a culture standpoint. Baseball standpoint, not the road trip win-loss record that we're looking for. Going 2-4, but a lot of good in there. A couple games I wish we had an inning back, but offense really seemed like it got going. Obviously had some really, really good pitching outings, and definitely saw and you learn more about your squad. So excited to get home and get going in these next 3 games here and 3 games up in Salem. But, overall, again, I think we learned a lot about our squad, and I really like this team a lot. And, the travel was a little crazy.
You talked about the pitching outings. Bodie Ramsey went 7 down in Ridgefield. Luke McGuire, 7 2/3 scoreless up in Edmonton. Talk about the staff and how far they've come since opening weekend.
Yeah, the staff's done a really nice job. They've settled in, using a 6-man rotation, and really it seems like we're getting quality starts way more often than not. And if not, when starters can go 5 to 7 innings, you have your bullpen available, and there's days where the bullpen's got to pick up the slack, and there's days where the starters aren't going to let anyone else touch the baseball. And it seemed like, Bodie and obviously Luke, they sure didn't want the bullpen to go that day, and we jumped on their back, and they carried us. But great to see Bodie bounce back after a Springfield start, and same thing with Luke. 2 guys that should be very solid arms the whole year for us. Great to see them have outings that they know they're capable of doing.
One more note on pitching before we get into the offense in this Bend series. Pitching coach Ethan Salscheider, he played for you for 4 years. You're kind of known as a guy that can get players where they want to go. He just took a job at Yakima Valley College up the road. What can you say about Salsa?
Yeah, I was as excited as I've ever been, hire Salsa as a coach. Student of the game, did a great job playing for me, but a guy that's going to be a very well-known pitching coach here in years to come. Worked out perfect for him to be staying in Yakima. I couldn't be happier, and the community and people that are true Pippin fans have seen him play a lot. They've now seen him coach. Does a great job. He's great for the community. What a great person. Super happy for him to get his first, college true pitching coach job. So kudos for him and happy for him. He's earned it.
The Pippins offense, like you said, 2-4 road trip, but up in Edmonton, there were back-to-back days of 10 hits. This offense seems to just kind of motor along as we go. Coming into a Bend series where they've been struggling a little bit, how do you provide some fireworks for the fans here at your home ballpark for 3 days?
Yeah, I think the recipe is just competitive at bats. I think as soon as the strikeout numbers started to dwindle and the routine flyouts, and we really started to take our walks, wear a couple hit by pitches, put up 7 to 11, 12 base hits. The runs kind of went from 3 or 4 to all of a sudden there's multiple nights where it's 10+. And I think if we can just stay consistent, work on getting on base, quality at bats, and being competitive, the lineup, despite who's in the lineup, can really be a night where we should be, a fireworks show at the plate any given night.
Some new guys coming into the squad. You've got a whole bunch of people to pick from. Who is your pick to click tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the new guy. I'm going to go with Trey from UCLA, a guy that's known for competitive at-bats, new lefty stick. He's DHing today. Got to play in a lot of games for a really good, obviously mostly number 1 ranked UCLA for the majority of the year. And I'm going to go with the new guy, and hopefully goes out there and gives some competitive at-bats. BP looks great. Maybe a guy I think that can do some damage for us.
Coach, good luck tonight.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
We've got starting lineups coming up next. This is Pippin's pregame. And now it's time for your starting lineup for the Yakima Valley Pippins, as announced by Pippins head coach Kyle Crestangel. Leading off, playing left field, number 3, Tyson Miller. Batting second, playing third base, number 26, Daichi Furuhata. Batting third, playing second base, number 17, Nick Velasquez. Batting fourth, the right fielder today, number 15, Luis Garcia. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 5, Abdel Ramos. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 4, Trey Godoy. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 16, Derek Almeida. Batting 8th, number 13, the first baseman, Levi Sotomayor. And batting 9th, the center fielder, number 7, Jay O'Neill. Again for the Pippins, Miller, Furuhata, Velasquez, Garcia, Ramos, Godoy, Almeida, Sotomayor, and O'Neill. The starting pitcher today will be Austin Dillon, making his 3rd start of the season. We'll have more numbers on Austin when we come back. That's the Pippins starting lineup. First pitch is next. This is Pippins pregame.
Your designated hitter number 4, Trey Godoy. Batting 7th, the shortstop number 16, Derek Almeida. Batting 8th, your first base number 13, Levi Soler. Batting 9th in center field, number 7, Jay O'Neal. Another bump tonight for your Pippins, number 29, Austin Dillon. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we would ask you to please rise if you are able, remove your hats, hands over your heart, and take some flight in center field. As our nation's anthem is sung by Michael Cabrera, under the local musician who performed and mentored the youth of the Yakima Valley for a number of years, and he is singing tonight your nation's anthem.
Oh, say.
2-2. Ellis needs to dial one in. Tension building here at Yakima County Stadium. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball game over. 2-1 victory. Pippins over Sweets. First pitch, a high drive out towards right. Back goes Chavez. He's looking up. Bye-bye baseball. Grand slam. Dylan Anderson. Bring him home and touch him all. He's been here all summer, and it finally pays off. That was all we needed. 2-1, the final score, and we get ready for fireworks as a happy bunch.
The bombs bursting in and gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That sound means that it's time for Pippins baseball here at the Orchard, Yakima County Stadium. The Pippins are back in town after spending a week on the road last week, starting off in Ridgefield and moving on up to Edmonton for the first time in the franchise's history. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm Harmon Johnson, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. It's a beautiful day here at the Orchard. Temperature sitting at around 80 degrees. Here in Yakima, it is pretty warm compared to how the season has started for the Pippins. Wind's going to be a factor today, blowing from left to right, from foul pole to foul pole at about 15 miles an hour. No precipitation anticipated, pretty dry as well, but we are in a red flag warning, which means there's wildfire conditions possible. We did have some smoke in the air yesterday after a small wildfire burned outside of town, and there's also some dust in the air as well tonight, but overall should be a pretty good night for Yakima Valley Pippins baseball. The Pippins return to face the Bend Elks for the first time this year. Dimitri Susito, Keegan Nadow, and Cam Beck will be the first up to face Austin Dillon, making his third start on the year with Yakima Valley. The 0-2 record really not a reflection on how well Austin has pitched, a 4.50 ERA in his 2 starts. He's gone 10 innings. He has struck out 9. Austin, a standout from Yakima Valley College the last couple of years, looking to silence these Bend Elks, who have struggled coming into this season. The Bend Elks 4-8 on the year as they get ready for their third road games of the year. Yakima, on the other hand, 8-7, giving them a chance to get back to 2 games over 500. Yakima Valley dropping 4 of the 6 games on the road to both the Ridgefield Raptors and the Edmonton Riverhawks. Trying to get back on track here And the first man here for the Bend Elks will be Dmitry Sasidko. Sasidko, the left fielder for the Elks, gets us underway here in Yakima. Pippin's wearing a new uniform. Not a new top, but new pants to go along with that top. Green on the bottoms of these Pippins players. First pitch on the way upstairs at 6:34 p.m. Just a minute early here at Yakima County Stadium. Temperature sitting at 82 degrees. Very breezy here under bright blue skies. The 1-0 upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. No clouds to provide any sort of relief, but something you might notice is that big shadow cutting over the middle of the diamond. We've got some of the sunshade banners up, and that's going to play a factor as the night wears on. Dylan looking for his first strike. He doesn't have it yet as Kyle Sisk, the home plate umpire, says that was down. You can see the wind ripping through those banners. They were just put up when the team was on the road. And so that's going to provide a little bit of a shadow over the middle of the infield at this time of day, something that we have not had so far this season. Austin Dillon, 3 pitches into his outing, looking for a strike. He does not find it. Dmitry Sasidko is on with a walk to lead off the game. That was the story of the weekend up in Edmonton. Pippins gave up 25 free passes between walks, hit by pitches, wild pitches, errors, all sorts of those stats that you don't necessarily want to have as a defense, which led to a couple of huge innings for the Riverhawks. Here he faces Keaton Nadeau. First pitch. There's a strike called by Kyle Sisk. Dylan able to get into a rhythm now, hopefully. Keaton Nadeau on the season, batting .261. Dylan throws to first. Nadeau playing in his 8th game. He has 6 hits, 1 double, 1 triple, and a couple of RBI. This Bend Elks squad won their first 3 games of the year and has struggled since. Runner takes off. The ball's on the ground out towards short. Almeida going to go to second for 1. The relay on to first. Double play. Good way to erase the leadoff walk for Austin Dillon. Pippin's defense turns their 14th double play of the year. 6-4-3 is how you score it. Let's take another look at it. Hard line drive on the ground. Almeida quickly onto Velasquez. They go to first. Levi Sotomayor able to stretch out there and get out number 2. This first pitch missing here to Cam Beck. Cameron Beck, the junior from South Jordan, Utah, playing in only his 2nd game for these Elks. 1-1 now. The partner in the field for Kyle Sisk is Henry DeJesus. He is over at first base right now in the A position. Pippins had this crew down in Springfield. Second time seeing this pairing. 1-1, fly it out towards right. Garcia drifting back, looking up into the sunshine. Wind playing tricks on it, but Luis has it to retire the side. A leadoff walk is erased on a ground out double play. And then a fly out means no runs, no hits, and no errors for the Bend Elks. Yakima Valley Pippins coming up on offense for the first time at home in more than a week. We'll be right back to the Orchard.
Each are going to have themselves some different size packages, but trust me, this is all even in the end. They're going to open up these 3 gifts, see what's inside them in honor of Scotty's birthday. You guys ready? All right, 3, 2, 1, get her open. Here goes. Got some paper going everywhere. That one's gonna win. Oh, and our first contestant has got a Scott T plushie. Heck, those are new in the team shop. Keep watching for everyone.
Welcome back to the Orchard. It's the bottom of the first inning. Pippins will send up Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, and Nick Velasquez to face off against Tyler Wood. Wood, the right-hander from Danville, California, attending UC Davis. With UC Davis, went 2-3 with a 5.68 ERA, 33 strikeouts, 23 walks. Wood making his first start for this Elks pitching staff that has really struggled to start the year. You've seen guys give up multiple big innings, and so Wood going to try to change the narrative there as he faces Tyson Miller, the left fielder for Yakima Valley. Miller so far on the season batting .414. 12 hits, playing in his 10th game. Tyson has scored 5 times. He's also swiped 5 bags. Pippin's going to try to put the immediate pressure on the Bend Elks, who essentially went 1-2-3 in their half of the first. Tyson swinging at his first pitch, but he'll foul it out of play and into lefty's bar. No balls and 1 strike. Tyler Wood standing out there on the hill. Wood clocks in at 6'3", 190. Will be a senior next year at UC Davis. Tyson had himself a decent road trip. Looking back to Sunday, he went 1 for 4. Was caught stealing out in the 3rd inning of that game. Was 3 for 4 on Saturday, though, and the Pippins win. Behind in the count here, 1-2. Tyson's gone back and forth between the bottom and the top of the order. I think he's found himself more comfortable at the top, though. Nice breeze blowing from left to right to keep us cool. 1-2. Tyson down looking. Breaking ball froze Tyson Miller. So that'll bring up Daichi Furuhata. What can you say about Daichi that hasn't already been said before? One of the best batting averages in the West Coast League. One of the best run totals in the West Coast League. He's scored 22 times on a .375 batting average. First pitch taking, a slider. That's 0-1. For Daichi, he had his hit streak again snapped. He was on a 3-game hit streak in Edmonton, taking another one. This is outside 1-1. So trying to start something new here as we're on game 16 of this 54-game regular season. 1-1 down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Furuhata, of course, coming off of a good year at Southwest Oregon Community College where he batted .300. Daichi ahead in the count, now 3-1. The impressive number with his runs scored total at 22 is Daichi only scored 24 times at SWAC. Played in 46 games, scored 24 runs. Here at the Pippins, he's 14 games in, he's scored 22 times. He nubs one on the ground over to first. Beck up with it. He'll take it to the bag himself. 2 up and 2 down for Yakima Valley in the first. That'll bring up Nick Velasquez. Velasquez on the season, batting .271, has been pretty comfortable in the 3-hole. He's been playing second base. He's been playing first base. He's designated hit. Pippin's trying to keep his bat in the lineup. He's got doubles power, doubles speed, but he's also got home run power to that short right field porch. Velasquez definitely more of a pull hitter. In fact, almost 40% of his hits go to the right side of the diamond. 0-1, this one on the left side, but foul. It'll deposit itself in a lap of one of the fans in general admission. And the Pippins behind 0-2. Wood trying to work quickly here in this first frame. Making his first start in the West Coast League, the 0-2. That's called strike 3. Pippin's down looking twice, and Tyler Wood pitches a 1-2-3 frame. That means no runs, no hits, and no errors. No Pippins were left on the base pads. 1 inning complete here in Yakima. No score between the Elks and the Pippins.
Hey, Justin, I'm coming over here from the left field ramp. I need some help. I need, by way of volunteer, 3 adults to come down with me for next inning's happening in with a dizzy gathering. Who's getting dizzy approved? 3 adults by way of volunteer. Any hands, any hands. There's one down here. We got one right here. And there's one right there. All right. I think I got 3. Teamwork gets teamwork.
Welcome back to the Orchard. Top of the second inning, no score. The Pippins, I mentioned in the open, coming off of a 6-game road trip where they went to 2 different cities in the West Coast League. Ridgefield, Washington was the side of the first series where they dropped the first 2 games pretty competitively. That 9-3 score on the 10th, not exactly an indicative of how the game went. Pippins exploded for 13 runs on Thursday night and then took a long travel day up to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, losing 14-10, but they scored the final 7 runs in the game. Edmonton would fall to the Pippins on Saturday, and then Edmonton again taking the series on Sunday. But it was a high-scoring affair. It was all sorts of fun up there in Canada. Pippins just glad to be home now, though, trying to get back on the right side of the win-loss column. First pitch skied out towards right field. Garcia coming in. Velasquez drifting back. Garcia on the foul line. This is in foul territory, and he makes the catch. Good range for Luis. He was playing back towards the short porch. That'll bring up Richie Klosek. Marcus Galvin was the one that just flew out. Klosek playing right field today for Bend. On the season, batting .240, playing in his 8th game. He's got the ability to go anywhere on the left half, but so far nothing on the ground has been on the right side. So if you're going to get Klosek, you better be ready for him to pull the ball. 0-1 from AD. Left that one inside. You wonder how that shadow is going to affect the first 3 to 4 innings of this game. Dylan's head in sunshine, the rest of his body in darkness. 1-1 on the ground to Daichi. It's past his glove and into left field. First hit of the game is a single by Richie Klosek, like I said, over on the left side. That'll bring up Noble Ortega, designated hitter for Bend. Ortega has some pitching stats to his name. Look at his WCL career. Native of Clovis, California. Lines one into right field. This is going to get down in front of Garcia. Stop sign thrown up for Klosek at second. Back-to-back singles for the Bend Elks. Have 2 aboard, only 1 away. AD's going to give up his hits. It's a matter of how well can he limit the damage when guys get on. This will bring up Troy Sanders. .364 batting average for the man making his 4th appearance. He's out of Tucson, Arizona. He watches the first pitch, and it is called a strike by Kyle Sisk. .636 slugging percentage for Troy Sanders. He's got a double and a triple as half of his hits. 4 hits on the year, 2 of them for extra bases. There's strike 2. Dylan able to climb ahead in the count. 2 hits so far here for Bend. Austin Dillon trying to limit the damage. The Elks come in scuffling at 4 and 8. 0-2. Just misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No Ks so far on the board out there in right field, trying to find our first one. Dillon's capable of some high strikeout numbers. 1-2. Instead, it's a slow chopper. Goes out to second for 1, dragging the toe on to first. It's another double play. The Pippins have turned the twin killing twice, and that will get us out of the inning. How about that for Yakima Valley's defense? 15 double plays on the season. We're still scoreless. Going now to the bottom of the second.
Albert's dry hop seltzer, dizzy bat race. I'm gonna have you guys come right here. We're racing the Scott team. 7 spins. I'll count you off, and then I'll say go, and you guys are gonna take off for the prize. You guys ready? All right. Spin off. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 and a half, 7, go. Oh, Scotty, what are you gonna call it? What are you gonna call it? All righty, our winner is Steven. Good job, guys. Give it up.
Welcome back to the Orchard. Pippins have turned 2 double plays so far tonight. The leather on display. That keeps this game scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second. Pippins will send up 4, 5, and 6 in their batting order, starting with Luis Garcia, who had a really good trip up to Edmonton. Had a 4-hit game. He had a 2-hit game. Luis really hitting his stride during that road trip. He's 6 of his last 8 at the plate as he's ahead in the count now 1-0. Garcia, with those 6 hits, now batting .262 after a slow start. He sends one a mile high into the outfield. Wind blowing it towards center. Nato will put it away. 1 out here in the second. Luis pulled that, but the wind blowing so hard that it went out towards center field. Here comes Ramos. Ramos batting .303. He's got 10 hits to his name. He's swinging first pitch and sends it well foul. Ramos able to go to all fields. Of course, he's got a triple down the third base line in this ballpark. He's got a double out towards left center to his name. He slices one right side foul. Facing righties, definitely more on the pull side for Obvel. Likes to get stuff in the air, doesn't like to be on the ground. He does have good speed for a catcher. Right over our heads here, still 0-2. Ramos kind of a free swinger, but it pays off. Started the year batting .700 because of a 3-for-4 type game. I know he had 3 hits. I don't remember exactly how many at-bats. 0-2 yanked on the glove side. Tyler Wood pitched a 1-2-3 first inning. Trying to do the same here in the second. He is completely in darkness, a little bit shorter than AD. Ramos, did he go? Yes. Kyle Sisk rings up Obvel Ramos. 3rd strikeout for Tyler Wood. Tough luck for Ramos. And here's the first at-bat for Trey Godoy. Came in from UCLA today. Of course, was a part of that Bruins team that was rated number 1 in the country for most of the year. They were upset in their regional. Trey, after spending about a week or so off, did not join the team for the road trip, but is here now. Ready to compete and fit in right now as the designated hitter. He's an outfielder. Pippins have a pretty good outfield as it is, so now just got that much better as 89 miles an hour goes right by him. Godoy, another left-handed stick for this Pippins order. They've got a lot of righties. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Wood barely missing. But now you've got the ability to run around 4 to 5 lefties in the lineup instead of just 3. 2-1, cut through. 2-2. Godoy being inserted into the 6th hole in his first at-bat as a Pippin. Let's see what the 2-2 has in store. That's ball 3, and so the count will run full to Trey. Trey's birth name actually Benjamin, but he is Benjamin Godoy III, so everybody calls him Trey. Payoff. Wave and a miss. Another 1-2-3 frame thrown by Tyler Wood. Looking good so far in his West Coast League debut. Pippins failed to score, still don't have a hit, still don't have a base runner. We go to the 3rd inning, scoreless here in Yakima. Welcome back to the Orchard. Top of the 3rd inning already here as we roll right along. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Bend Elks. Isaiah Fudge is the first hitter here in the 3rd. Fudge from San Marcos, California. Will be a senior next year. Batting 188 for the Elks. First pitch taken for ball 1. Austin Dillon getting ready to start his 3rd inning of work. I was talking with Elks broadcaster Aiden O'Neill before the game, and he said there's just a lot of guys that have had one big game for the Elks and then have kind of sputtered out since. Looks, based on just the stats alone, that Fudge is one of them. He's got 3 hits on the year, over 16 at-bats. Only 4 strikeouts, just has not been able to find his way on base. 1-1, stung out to center field. O'Neill will stick the glove up and make the catch as it tailed back towards him. 1 away, Braden Jones will be the hitter for Bend. Jones from Chehalis, Washington, native of the PNW. Spent the last couple of seasons at Tacoma up here in the NWAC. Now here with the Bend Elks for the summer. First pitch just a bit up, according to Kyle Sisk. Playing in his 10th game is Jones. He's hitting at a 182 clip. Two balls and no strikes. This last season with Tacoma, hit 244. in 22 games, picking up 19 hits. 2-0, sent back towards us. It's a foul ball. But the year before that, played in 18 more games and hit about 30 points higher at 274. So Jones coming off a little bit of a down year at Tacoma. 2-1 into the netting, 2-2. Good to see the net still works after being away for 6 days. Pippins will be right back on the road later this week, so the grind never stops. A 3-game series down in Salem to face the Marion Berries starting on Friday, so enjoy these 3 home games while we can. 2-2 again popped up. This one might stay in the ballpark, and it will land up in GA. Ramos went chasing it. He never had a chance. It was being blown clear out into the stands. So the count's still 2-2. Austin last pitching on Tuesday against Ridgefield, so a week off since his last start, went 5 2/3, gave up 4 runs rather. Slowly on the ground out towards Velasquez. The second baseman has it, and that's out number 2. Back to the top of the order for the Elks. Dmitry Sasidko. Where's that? Number 14. Those Elks uniforms are very unique. I like the pinstripes with the gold. It's just, I wonder how comfortable they are in this sunshine, the black uniforms. First pitch, AD ahead in the count, 0-1. Sasidko walked in the first, but was erased on a double play turned by Yakima Valley. The first one was 6-4-3. The second one in the second inning was 4-6-3. Good chemistry between Velasquez and Almeida. On the ground, a chance for Daichi. A bad hop over there at third, and it's into left field. Another base hit for the Elks. Nothing Furahada could do as that hit right off of the cut of the grass. So a walk, now a single for Sasidko. A 2-out base runner here for the Elks. Daichi just, again, nothing he could do about that. Took 2 big hops and right over his glove. Runner takes off. It's a foul tip. The throw down by Ramos. It's a good one. The tag applied, and he is out. Obfeld nabs another base runner, and the Pippins get out of that 2-out single. No runs given up by Yakima Valley so far. We go to the bottom of the third, scoreless here in the Orchard. Welcome back to the Orchard, bottom of the third inning. No score between the Pippins and the Elks. Well, the first half is already more than halfway over, if you can believe it. 27 games in the first half. This is game number 16 for Yakima Valley. Ridgefield at the top of the South. The Pippins sitting in 4th place currently. Bend down in 7th place, only above Springfield. Now, the Elks have played a few non-league games already this year. That's why you see the discrepancy in the number of games. Wenatchee at the top of the North, Port Angeles at the bottom. Still anyone's division up for grabs, but Ridgefield has been on fire to start this 2026 campaign. Derek Almeida taking strike 1 against Tyler Wood. Almeida did not make the trip up to Canada, and so he is fresh and ready to go, trying to get back on his tear. Wave and a miss. That is 0-2. Almeida hitting .348, but most of that power coming from the Ridgefield series. He hit his first home run. He had a couple of extra base hits as well. He stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Almeida, though, he went 1 for 4 with the home run during Wednesday's loss last week, and then 4 for 6 in the Thursday game. Stays alive as he pokes this one foul on the right side. Derek had a great game there on Thursday in that 13-1 win for the Pippins. You just hope that the little bit of a break he got isn't enough to knock him off of his hot streak. Again, did not make the trip up to Edmonton. He stays alive again. A lot of baseballs going right over the press box today. I hope Shea and Marcos are paying attention. We might get one up here with the way the ball's flying. Decent crowd on hand here for this Tuesday night tilt. Trying to cheer on Derek Almeida. Slow chopper to third. Jones gathers, throws, in time. Pippins still without a hit. As now 7 up and 7 have been set down. That's not an easy play out there by Jones at third. Kind of reminds you of another third baseman that played the game of baseball by the last name of Jones. Of course, I'm talking about Chipper Jones. Played for the Atlanta Braves. Was a shortstop at the start of his career and moved to third. Hard line drive caught. Beck over at first was ready, and Levi Sotomayor robbed of a hit. So now 8 have been retired by Tyler Wood to start this game. And it'll be up to Jay O'Neill to try to get a hit before the top of the order comes up again. O'Neill batting 182 as he drops down a bunt on the third base line, but it will be well foul. 0-1, not a bad idea with Jones playing back. Jay with 6 hits so far in his 7 games as a Pippin. Joined the team before the trip to Ridgefield. He was here for the weekend series against the Berries and then took a couple days off down in Ridgefield just from some wear and tear from the Georgia Gwinnett season. 0-1, straight back, 0-2. Pippin swinging early and often so far in this contest. As Yakima Valley finds themselves in a scoreless tie, but so far nobody's been able to reach base. Tyson Miller hoping that O'Neill can get on and the top of the order can come up. Jay, a line drive out to short, and that's back-to-back line drive outs off the Pippins' bats. Well, tough luck for Yakima Valley in the first 3. They do not get a hit. We're tied at 0 going through the first 3. Top of the 4th is next here in Yakima. Fourth frame about to get started here in Yakima. Austin Dillon about to start his fourth inning of work. He'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Bend order. The Elks have 3 hits so far in this game, but they've only left 1 runner on base thanks to 2 double plays turned by the Pippins and a caught stealing to end the third inning. Yakima Valley has not picked up a hit. They've not picked up a base runner yet in this contest. Tyler Wood perfect through 3. AD will face Keaton Nato. First pitch, a strike. Nato grounded into that 6-4-3 double play back in the first. Can't turn a double play with nobody on, but we'd love a ground out anyway. 1-1 count now. Pretty good turnout here at Yakima County Stadium for Scott T. Pippin's 13th birthday. The Valley's most famous apple is celebrating a milestone birthday, I think. Is 13 still a milestone for everybody? I guess it's the start of your teenage years. Scott T. about to become a little more rebellious here at the Orchard. 1-2 bounces in. So Scott T., happy birthday. Of course, the Pippins playing in only their 12th season. They've been around for 13 years, but 2020 meant that there was no season that was played. AD skips another one in. That was a breaking ball, trying to get a chase from Nato. Nato likes to swing quite a bit. Here's the payoff. It is called strike 3. Kyle Sisk rings him up. I know it was a little bit of a delayed call from Kyle Sisk, but Nato appeared to knew that that ball was right over the heart of the plate. Here comes the 3-hole hitter, Cam Beck. Flew out to Luis Garcia back in the first frame. Wave and a miss on that first pitch. Good breaking ball by Austin Dillon. Cam Beck, again from South Jordan, Utah, making the trip up here to the Northwest as he grounds one to short. 2 away here in the fourth. Merrily we move along here in the fourth inning. Marcus Galvin with 2 outs. Galvin from Chino, California, flew out to right field to start the second inning. That was a 1-pitch out for Austin Dillon. He'd like another one of those. Still sitting south of 40 pitches. Galvin, one of the better contact hitters in the West Coast League. Making contact around 87% of the time when he swings. 1-1 now. He likes to go back up the middle. Pippins left him a pretty big hole. Daichi playing in at third to the lefty. Austin's ahead in the count now, 1-2. AD looking for just his second strikeout. Austin brings it. Not there. Kyle Sisk shaking his head no. That shadow continues to sit right in between the circles of the pitcher's mound and the batter's boxes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A high chop over towards first. It is foul. Mason Elrod, one of the players for Bend, makes the play. He is coaching first base today. Austin trying to set down the side in order here. 2-2, grounded out towards Nick. 2 hops, Nick sends it on the run, and the side is indeed retired in order. Bottom of the fourth inning will come next. Nobody has scored yet. There's been 3 hits, all of them by Bend. Pippins have the top of the order, looking for the first base runner when we come back.
Another very happy birthday. A lot of people celebrating their birthday the same day as Scott T. Pippin. Mahela is 25 years young today. And her name is
Speaking of people sharing birthdays, Scotty, I think, has got another gift to give out.
Who wants a birthday present from Scott T. Pippin?
There's the birthday apple. Scott T. Pippin celebrating the big 1-3 today. Scott hoping for a couple of hits here in the bottom of the fourth inning. As look at that. There's the Scott T. plushie that you can now get down at the team store. Might have to get Scott T. to autograph mine. I have one here in the booth. Tyson Miller leads it off here in the fourth inning for Yakima Valley. So far today, Tyler Wood in his West Coast League debut has been perfect. 9 up and 9 down. Pippin's hoping to change that. Tyson, he'll find a hit. Pippins have their first base runner, the perfect game bid over by Tyler Wood. It lasted 3 innings. That's pretty good. Now let's see what Yakima Valley can do with a man finally on the base pads. Daichi Furuhata grounded out to the first baseman Beck back in the first frame. Let's see if Daichi can add on to his team leading stats. Behind in the count 0-1. A lot of my talk back in his first at bat as a big plume of dust kicks up behind home plate into the fans directly behind the dish. A lot of the discussion I had was about his runs scored total. Half-hearted wave and a miss. That means Daichi's getting on a lot and he's getting around a lot, but he also has 10 RBI. A couple of them thanks to some home runs. Daichi, a very good 2-hole hitter for Yakima Valley. Behind in the count here, needs to protect. He cannot. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. Tyler Wood with now 5 strikeout victims. Nick Velasquez, one of the 5 strikeout victims. That came back in the first frame. Pippins usually don't get off to slow starts here at home. Tyson dancing off of first, not going. Velasquez ahead in the count. Tyler Wood just now getting to 40 pitches. Here in the fourth frame. Set down the first 9 pips he saw in order before allowing a single here in this inning to Tyson Miller. Velasquez up on top of the team in quite a few categories. Is in the top 3 in most. 2 home runs, 12 RBI. There goes Tyson. The pitch is a swing according to Kyle Sisk, but Tyson Miller steals second base. So it's 2-1. Man in scoring position for the Pippins, trying to break the scoreless tie. The count 2-2. I believe. That's what Kyle Sisk just put up on his fingers. Line drive back where it came from, down into center field. The wave is on over at third by Coach Crustangel. Here's the throw from center field. The throw pulls the catcher out from home plate. And advancing to second, Nick Velasquez. Pippins strike first. RBI single for Nick as this was stung back into center field, 90 miles an hour off the bat. Just high enough, nobody could get there. Tyson can fly around the base pads, and the throw pulled Galvin out into the darkness. So 2 singles in the inning for Yakima Valley. Nick Velasquez picks up RBI number 13 on the year. Luis swings on the first pitch he sees and pops it up into shallow right. Nick will not be tagging as there are now 2 away. Two away. Velasquez still at second. He was waiting to see if that ball would potentially drop. So he was not back at the second base bag tagging. Here's Abel Ramos. Ramos struck out back in the second inning. Pippins lead it 1-0. First pitch strike there on the outer half. Kyle Sisk giving that outer half so far today. Another man in scoring position waiting for Yakima Valley. This is shot through the right side and down. A late stop sign thrown up by Krusty. It'll be runners at the corners and 2 away. You think if potentially Velasquez had tried to tag, maybe he would have just scored easily, but as it stands, it's runners at the corners for Yakima Valley. That stop sign was thrown up right at the last second. Velasquez had almost passed Coach Crustangel. RBI opportunity for Trey Godoy in his second at-bat as a Yakima Valley Pippin. Abel takes off. They're going to put the ball in the pocket of Galvin, and it's an easy stolen base for Ramos. Pippins like to test arms early on, more so test decision-making skills for opposing catchers. So 2 stolen bases in the inning. You've got 2 in scoring position now for Trey. Takes a strike there, 1-1. Wood, after being perfect through 3, now facing his 6th batter here in the 4th. Pippins have the lead, looking for insurance. Still a lot of baseball to be played, but if you can pour on as many hits as possible, then help stake your opponent out of the ballgame. 2-1. Godoy slices it right over top of the screen to make it 2-2. Trey going to have to go to work here and protect the plate. Godoy, 30 games appeared in for UCLA this last year. Had 19 starts as well as a true freshman. Takes down and in to run the count full. Godoy was on base at a .422 clip. And he only struck out 15 times in his 66 at-bats. One of the better freshmen in the Big Ten. Big situation for him. Here in a full count with 2 away and 2 in scoring position. He waves through A slider down and in. And so the side is retired, but not before Yakima Valley is able to plate a run. We go to the top of the 5th inning. The Pippins 1, the Bend Elks nothing here at the Orchard. Scott T. Pippin and friends eating some cupcakes. What kind of cupcakes do you suppose Scott T. enjoys on his birthday? Austin Dillon pitching with a lead here in the 5th inning, as he will face 5, 6, and 7 in the Bend Elks order. Those cupcakes sadly have to be ushered off the field. We can't have live food on the field. Scott T is going to go take up residence in the Bend Elks bullpen. He's going to go sit on the bench with them. I guess it's his birthday. He can kind of do whatever he wants. AD's first pitch is drilled out towards center field. Chasing it back, O'Neal. He's still running. He's at the track. He makes the catch. Drifting onto the warning track, Jay O'Neal had to run a long way to get it. But the important part is he got it. And there's one away on one pitch here in the 5th. I mean, watch. He is running all the way into that darkness of the cutout. Klosek down. One away for Noble Ortega. First pitch right there for strike one. Ortega has a nice blue bat. Stands out against that black uniform. Pretty sweet stick. Chops it foul using that blue bat. It's 0-2. Ortega got a single back in the 2nd inning. It was 1 of 2. Hit back-to-back by Klosek and Ortega. Klosek flew out. Ortega stays alive foul. Quite a few baseballs have been sent over on that left side towards the parking lot here at the fairgrounds. Parking lot unoccupied other than the ballpark folk here today. Another chance for Nick out at second. He's been busy. He gets the job done. 2 away here in the 5th. The last time the Pippins were at home, there were a few graduations that happened over at the Sundome. And so there were quite a few cars in danger of maybe getting a cracked windshield. Not tonight, just the folks who have parked for the ball game or in the parking lot. Troy Sanders grounded into a double play to end that 2nd inning. AD gets ahead. Fastball living at around 87, 88 today for Austin. You know, he'd love to erase that 0-2 in his win-loss column. He'd love to find a 1 instead of a 0. And he hasn't pitched bad. The couple of times he's taken a loss were just out of his control. Offense didn't help him in both times. He pitched on Tuesday in both Springfield and in Ridgefield, and he got a combined 1 run of run support. 2-1 back where it came from. Almeida's not going to get there. Single for Troy Sanders keeps the inning alive. So Isaiah Fudge will come up to hit. Fudge flew out to O'Neill back in the 3rd inning. Here in the 5th, he's got a man at first. Troy Saunders after the 2-out single. Nice night here in Yakima, all things considered. Swinging first pitch. This is out to shallow left. Miller was played perfectly, shifted in, and the side is retired quickly. The Elks get a hit, but they leave him stranded. We're halfway home. Can you believe it? Here at the Orchard. 1-0 Yakima Valley going to the bottom of the 5th.
We got one here, coach. We got one here, too.
Bottom of the 5th frame. Pippin's upcoming schedule looks like this. Next 2 days against the Bend Elks, 6:35 p.m. first pitches. Tomorrow night's Thrift Night. First 250 fans will get a free thrifted item. And then we have our Father's Day Datathon on Thursday. Father's Day, of course, being on Sunday. But the Pippins are on the road down in Salem to play the Marion Berries. 6:35 starts on Friday and Saturday, and then a 5:05 Sunday for Father's Day. Short leash for Tyler Wood. He goes 4 innings, only giving up 3 hits and 1 run. And he gives way now for Cade Finazzo. Finazzo from Highland, California, has pitched in 4 games, has gone 4 1/3 innings, striking out 3, giving up 5 hits and 2 earned runs. He'll face Derek Almeida, the number 7 spot in the Pippins order to start, and fire in a first pitch for ball 1. Finazzo, so pitching in his 5th game, allows a lot of contact up the middle. Another contact up the middle, but this looks like it'll be caught by Nato. It is. Almeida down as out number 1 in the 5th. Here's Levi Sotomayor. Sotomayor only has 5 at-bats if you count this one with the Pippins. He has 1 hit, which means he's batting .250 coming into this at-bat with his 4. Very limited numbers for Sotomayor. Did not participate in the Canada trip. Pippins lead at 1-0 here at the Orchard, thanks to 3 singles in the 4th inning. Well, despite Wood only being on a 4-inning limit today, he made the most of it. He was perfect through 3. He struck out 5, and he only allowed 1 run on 3 hits. Finazzo falls behind in the count here, 2-1. A slew of righties available out of the Bend bullpen. Same situation for Yakima Valley, only about 6 lefties for both sides. 3 balls and a strike here to Sotomayor. Native of Reno, Nevada, looking for either his 2nd hit or his 2nd time on base. We'll try 2nd time on base as he draws his first walk. First walk issued by Elks pitching comes here in the 5th inning. Pippins have only issued 1 walk themselves. That was the leadoff man to start the game. Jay O'Neill lined out to the shortstop back in the 3rd inning. That was part of that tough luck 3rd inning where there were a couple of hard hit balls that ended up in lineouts as Finazzo has lost the strike zone after the fly out to Derek Almeida. Officially 1 hour into the contest here in Yakima. Started at 6:34. It's now 7:34. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch not given at the bottom of the zone by Kyle Sisk, the home plate umpire in today's game. Henry DeJesus is his partner out in the field. Jay swings in a hitter-friendly count. Moves it now to 2-1. Jay trying to get back on track. Only batting 182 coming into this game. His 6 hits, 2 of them doubles, though. Hard hit into right field as it hops through the dirt. Sotomayor will stop at second. Pippins have a 1-out threat as the bottom of the order sets the table for the top. Tyson Miller will hit. Jay picking up his 7th hit of the year. Maybe that'll get him back on track. Pippins now with 4 hits on the board to match the Bend Elks. Yakima Valley with the only run of the game so far. Tyson shows bunt, but he will take a strike on the outer half. 1 for 2 is Tyson Miller. A single, and he's scored the game's only run so far. Sotomayor leads it at second. Jay O'Neill at first. 1-1 the count now after the pitch misses inside. Finazzo not going to overpower you. He's got about 85 in the fastball category, and 77 was that last pitch, which had some break down and into the lefty. Slight infield pull is the shift against Tyson Miller. Tyson falls behind in the count here, 1-2. There you see the shift put on by the Elks. Really not much of a shift in the grand scheme of things, but Sanders has to help hold on Sotomayor at second. So that leaves the left side open sometimes. 1-2, that was a breaking ball that did not break. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looked awkward coming out of the hand of Finazzo. Finazzo 6'4", 215 out there on the hill. 2-2 runs the count full. You've got Daichi Furuhata waiting in the on-deck circle. Pippins fans hoping that it's about to be Miller time here at the Orchard. Tyson looking for a walk or a knock with the bags full and 1 away. It's a soft knock out towards center field. Runners will not be tagging, and they will not advance on a very shallow flyout to Nato. Two away for Daichi. And we're going to get a visit out to the mound. Bend seeing something with Finazzo that they want to talk about. Gives us a chance to take a look around the West Coast League at some of the scores from around the league. Not everybody's playing tonight because of some non-league action, so here are the scores. Bellingham leads the Port Angeles Lefties in Port Angeles 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nanaimo is at Corvallis tonight. The Knights leading it 3-1 in the top of the 4th. The Marion Berries are in Walla Walla tonight as they play the Sweets. Walla Walla leads it 4-1 in the top of the 4th inning. Bottom of the second in Victoria, a non-league game there at Royal Athletic Park. The Harbor Cats lead the Redmond Dudes 9-1. Wenatchee hosting Edmonton tonight. The Riverhawks lead it 2-0 in the top of the fourth. And game just underway down at Portland. The Ridgefield Raptors lead the Pickles 2-0 in the bottom of the first. First pitch to Daichi is upstairs for ball one. Furuhata 0 for 2 today. That's uncharacteristic through 2 at-bats for Daichi. He usually finds his way on. He'll take ball 2 to be ahead in the count, though. Appears to be one guy stretching in the Bend bullpen. After Wood goes 4 innings, it might be all arms on deck here in game 1. Daichi hacks at that one and sends it foul over the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pippins looking to add on to a 1-0 lead that they picked up in the bottom of the fourth frame. Sotomayor is at second. Jay O'Neill is the runner at first. Two one, driven into left field. This is going to go all the way to the foul pole. Sotomayor is going to score easily. Jay O'Neill chugs around third. He gets the wave. Daichi Furuhata with a 2-run double. "3-0 Yakima Valley as Furuhata drove this one right down the line. Furuhata picks up RBIs 11 and 12 on the season, and the Pippins lead it 3-0. Great job by Daichi to send that one where the fielders ain't. Pippins continue to hit well with 2 outs. Nick Velasquez takes well inside to go ahead in the count 1-0. Pippins enjoying the comforts of home as they lead it 3-0 after being on the road all of last week. There's a strike. 1-1 now to Nick. Pippins love to hit with 2 outs. They also love to hit with runners in scoring position. At my last check, Pippins are batting nearly 300 with 2 outs. That double by Daichi going to help that number out. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Nick Velasquez. Daichi out at second. Nick fouls it off at the plate. Galvin could not hold on to that just enough off the bat from Nick Velasquez. Pippins fans enjoying this 3-0 lead, looking for another run out there at second in Daichi. Finazzo over 20 pitches in this relief appearance. 1-2, that's ball 2. So Nick stays alive for at least one more pitch. Let's see what happens here on 2-2. Nick pokes it foul. We'll do it again. Pippin sitting in the top half of the power rankings for the West Coast League, sitting at 6th out of 16 teams. Two is drilled out towards right. Will it stay fair is the question, and it will not. Nick just in front of that 74-mile-an-hour heart of the plate breaking ball. He launched it at 99 off the bat. Just could not keep it inside the foul pole. We'll have a third straight 2-2 pitch. Nick waves at it. Didn't have a chance to grab it, and so Velasquez strikes out for the second time. But Yakima Valley plates 2 more runs here in the 5th frame thanks to an RBI double by Daichi Furuhata. We go to the 6th inning. Pippins lead it 3-0. Austin Dillon ready to pitch here in the 6th inning. Pippins lead it 3-0. You see the box score there. 3 runs on 5 hits for Yakima Valley. No runs on 4 hits for Bend. The Elks have been able to find their way aboard, just have not been able to get anybody around the base pads so far. Their only runner that they left stranded besides Sanders back in the 5th was Richie Klasek, who was left at third base on a double play. Dillon fires his first pitch outside for ball 1. You wonder, in a game that was moving so quickly, just how much time Dillon needs to reacclimate to the mound, as he's behind now 2-0. We saw that a couple times, both on the positive and the negative side for Yakima Valley, because they would score a lot, but then their pitcher would wait, or vice versa. They would be out there for a while, then the bats would cool off. It's 2-1. We've lost the ball counter out on the scoreboard. Now it's back. That was odd. Corked into center field. O'Neill coming on. He will stop. He will make the catch. Line drive right at Jay. 1 away here in the 6th inning. Back to the top of the order for the Bend Elks. Here's Dmitry Sasidko. Sasidko, 1 for 1, a single, a walk. He was doubled off in the 1st. He was caught stealing in the 3rd. AD, his first pitch, squaring to bunt. That was an awkward play in the box by Sasidko. He tried to square around, but Dillon was already firing in the pitch. It was strike 1 with a breaking ball. Hard to see those Bend Elks in the shadows there at home plate, as night continues to draw closer here in the Palm Springs of Washington. Another breaker. There's strike 2. AD finding his groove here. Top of the 6th inning. He's about to throw his 60th pitch. Folks in right field hoping for another strikeout. AD's got 2 of them. Scratch that. He's only got 1. On the ground, not going to get the second one. Charging Almeida, throws on the run. The scoop by Sotomayor. Nice play by Levi over at first. Almeida went over and gave Levi a handshake after that. He was charging so hard. You see the effort to get this one on a favorable hop. Levi able to scoop that one out of the dirt. 2 away for Keaton Nato. First pitch misses. It's a fastball from AD. 1 ball and no strikes. Pippins, despite being only one game over 500, having a plus 11 run differential. On the ground again for Almeida. Another chance. A strong throw across. And the side is retired. We'll talk about the Pippins and their run-scoring abilities when we come back. Pippins offense going to work again. Bottom of the 6th here in Yakima up next. There's a look into the Pippins bullpen. They hope they won't be needed tonight. Austin Dillon is cruising through 6 frames as the Pippins have a 3-0 advantage. New pitcher into the game for the Bend Elks as they dig into their bullpen for the second time. Christian Estep from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, comes in to make his 6th appearance already on the season. He's gone 6 2/3 innings, striking out 3, walking 3, giving up 3 hits and 2 earned runs. That's good enough for a 2.70 ERA. Opponents hitting only 130 against Estep. So Finazzo goes 1 frame. He gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Luis Garcia leads it off against the new arm for Bend. First pitch is sent straight back into the screen. Garcia 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts coming off of the last 2 games of the road trip where he went a blistering 6 for 8. He was 4 for 5. Then had a couple more hits as he fouls this one off his front foot. Estep fields it, but Garcia got that one right off the shin guard. He says he's all right. Luis and Abel Ramos and Dan Bradley, all from Western Oklahoma Community College. A slow tapper back to the mound. Estep has it. He'll take it to first all the way. Interesting play from the new reliever. A 1 assisted is the first out of the 6th. One unassisted. All right. Abel Ramos, 1 for 2, single and a strikeout. So the Western Oklahoma boys batting back-to-back in the order. I had the pleasure of driving both Garcia and Ramos back across town on very early Monday morning when we got back from Edmonton. Their host family lives out by my host family, and so instead of making somebody come all the way over here, there's a shot foul into the Bend bullpen. Instead of making their host family come all the way out here to pick them up at the ballpark, and just said, hey, hop in with me, boys. We'll ride across town together. It's about a 15-minute drive. Reflected on the road trip, reflected on the summer so far. Ramos, a high chop. That one not foul. It's bobbled by Jones, and the throw is in time. Ramos took his time getting out of the box. Looked like he stumbled a little bit in that right-hand batter's box. 2 away for Trey Godoy. Trey 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, still adjusting to the new environment here at the Orchard. A little bit different ballpark than down in Westwood. First pitch, a chop out towards second. Fudge takes the high hop, and the Pippins are retired in order in the 6th inning. Well, we go to the late innings already here in Yakima. 3-0 Pippins as we cruise right along. Austin Dillon back to work here in the top of the 7th inning for Yakima Valley. Well, it's been a week where the Pippin starters had a really good time out on the hill. Yakima Valley got good starts out of about half of their starters on the road trip. You date back to, again, AD going 5 2/3 with 4 runs allowed on Tuesday. And then Jake Cumming went 5 innings, only giving up 2 hits. Bodie Ramsey on Thursday against the Raptors went 7 innings, allowing only 3 hits and 1 run. Josh Mawhinney had a tough start in the Friday game in Edmonton, but then Luke McGuire responded, going 7 2/3 with only 7 hits, but no runs. McGuire tossed nearly 8 innings shut out. And so Austin Dillon trying to build on that and give this Pippins bullpen some rest here in the first game of this 3-game midweek series. Wave and a miss here by Cameron Beck to fall behind 0-2. Beck is 0 for 2 today, a fly out and a ground out. AD looking for a second strikeout today. Not on that pitch, 82-mile-an-hour changeup. AD certainly letting his defense do the work for him. He's allowed 4 hits, but 1 strikeout and 1 walk. Everything else has been a ground out or a fly out. 1-2, Ramos blocks the ball in the dirt. The folks out in the Jersey Mike Subs right field porch would love to put another K out there. Only 1 so far. 2-2, that skips in and deposits itself between Kyle Sisk's feet. So the K's there is the normal like Jersey Mike's, and we have 1 K out there for the 1 strikeout. So the 2 Ks, one of them's permanent. Everything in between, though, is the number. Not a strikeout here. Almeida leaps, cannot grab it. A single over the head of Derek Almeida. Cam Beck, a leadoff base runner here in the 7th for Bend. Derek waited until the last second to try to jump and grab it, reading the ball all the way out towards left field. Just did not have enough of a hop. Marcus Galvin, 0 for 2 today. Pippins have turned 2 double plays. Beck, the first baseman over there, not going. And a first pitch ball to the catcher, Marcus Galvin. Prime opportunity here for a third double play. Wind whips across the ballpark from left to right, and even blowing in at times. It's definitely swirling. 1-0. This is popped out of play foul. You might be able to hear some of the wind noise on our microphones. Definitely a breezy one. The Pippins have an inflatable turtle for batting practice, and it was blowing all over the place. We had to have some guys sit on it to keep it from blowing around. Throw to first. Back in time is Cam Beck. Tell you what, I was here last year, and comparing the weather last year to this year, I don't mind the breeze and the cooler temperatures this year. 1-1 is sliced foul into the stands. Heads up. 1-2. Last year, the second home series of the year was about 95 on game 1, 100 degrees on game 2, and 102 degrees on game 3. The Battery getting pounded with chalk right now. Home plate umpire Kyle Sisk needs to clean his mask out as the wind continues to blow through here. The infield gets dry fairly quickly, no matter how much water you put on it pregame. 1-2 on the ground. We might get two. Velasquez doesn't have a play, so they'll just go on to first. Marcus Galvin grounds out. Cam Beck moves up to second. That ball not hit hard enough. Only off the bat at 68 miles an hour. Took a weird hop on the grass for Velasquez. But there is one out. Richie Klosek, 1 for 2, a single and a fly out. This is the first time the Elks have had a man in scoring position since the second inning. They left Richie Klosek at third after a double play was turned in the second. Sasidko is picked off trying to go to first to second in the third inning. There's a strike, 1-1. And the only other hit before this inning was a single by Troy Sanders, and he was left there. One. Now 2 balls and a strike as Dylan left that one upstairs. AD now at 75 pitches as the Pippins bullpen has a couple of bodies down there just in case. 2-1 into the netting up near the speakers. 2-2. More dust being flown in the air as the net ripples with the wind. Every little movement in the batter's box and home plate area is going to kick up some dust. That's how dry the plate becomes. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Dylan missed downstairs with a fastball. There's a pretty good look at how much the wind is whipping. You can see it blowing those sun banners in. Payoff. That got away from Ramos. It's ball 4. Obvel will gather it and keep the runners at bay. Moving up on the wild pitch is Cam Beck. He's in at third. On at first is Klosek with the walk. First real trouble for AD tonight, as Ethan Salscheider will have a chat with the YVC pitcher. You might have caught it in the pregame interview, but Coach Salsa will be the pitching coach at Yakima Valley College next year. Good to see Salsa, who spent 4 years with the Pippins, parts of 4 summers, and a native of Tacoma, Washington, stay in his home state and stay in a city that's been pretty important to him baseball-wise the last couple of years. I know he's excited to get started out at YVC, join the Yaks community. He's done a great job with the staff so far for the Pippins, and that's going to translate into the NWAC level of pitching. Salsa, Panch, and Krusty, the three-man crew that keeps this Pippins team competing and in a lot of these games. Noble Ortega will represent the tying run. Bend Elks do not have a score as this is into right field for a base hit. Well, now they do have a score. RBI single by Noble Ortega makes it 3-1, and the Elks trying to slowly claw their way back into this one. Two hits for Ortega in this contest. 3-1. Elks now out hitting the Pippins 6-5. Troy Sanders has a single and a ground into a double play today. Good strike by AD. Now at the 80 pitch threshold. AD trying to get through 7. Would be the third time this year that a Pippins pitcher has gotten through 7 innings as a starter. 0-1. This is driven out towards right. Garcia going back. He's looking up. This ball is foul. Kyle Sisk was standing right on the line behind the plate. The Elks bullpen pleading the case that that was a fair ball. It was close. Got some help from the wind, did Sanders. And you can't see the ball in that replay, so whatever was called there has to stand. Kyle Sisk waited a moment before he made the call. That's the right thing to do as an umpire, is make sure you saw what you saw. So it's 0-2 here to Sanders, a very long, loud strike. This one's not getting out of the yard. It's on the infield. An infield fly called by Henry DeJesus. 2 away here in the 7th. Sanders was out regardless of the result because runners were at first and second with less than 2 outs. Isaiah Fudge will be the last hope here in the 7th inning. Will stretch after this out. Scott T. Pippin on his birthday has some friends that he's going to sing Take Me Out to the Ballgame with. Ball 1. Scott T's got quite the contingent down in GA below us. They've got a cake as well that I think they might be singing happy birthday to him as well as the 7th inning stretch. Wonder if there'll be any cake left. 1-0 drilled out towards left field. This is going to get down. Tyson cuts it off. Rounding third on his way to the plate will be Klosek. Ramos can't field the ball cleanly at the plate. Backing him up is Dillon. The Elks cut this to a 1-run deficit as they have the tying and go-ahead runs in scoring position on a 2-out single by Isaiah Fudge. Coach Crustangel going to head out and grab Austin Dillon. His night will be over. He's responsible for the 2 runs on base at second and third. But a heck of a night for AD tonight, going 6 2/3, and so far only giving up 2 runs. We'll get you the information on the new Pippins pitcher when we come back. Elks threatening here in the 7th. 3-2 Yakima Valley leads it. The new Pippins pitcher is Francisco Lopez, wearing number 31. Lopez from Tucson, Arizona, pitched at YVC, has played in 2 games, 2 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts. He's given up 1 hit. So far, no runs given up by Cisco. Austin Dillon leaves runners at second and third. He gives up 7 hits, walks 2, strikes out 1. AD was cruising through 6, has run into a little bit of trouble here in the 7th. Lopez will try to find 1 out and keep this a 3-2 game. Braden Jones, the number 9 hitter, is due up to face Lopez first. You've got Noble Ortega standing at third base. Isaiah Fudge, who went to second base on the throw home. Both of them went on the throw, and so no error issued to anybody on the Pippins. First pitch from Cisco, just a touch downstairs. 1-0. Cisco did not participate in the Canadian part of the road trip last week. And it looks like he's going to get out of the 7th. Velasquez sends it on to Levi, and the side is retired. 2 runs come across for the Bend Elks, but the Pippins still hold the lead. It's stretch time here at the Orchard. Stick around for Scott T's birthday, and we'll be back for the bottom of the 7th.
All right, we'll just be waiting for Ralphie to snap his fingers.
He's going to take his birthday cake he's got home now.
He's not going to share. Round of applause for all our seniors again here for the 7th inning
Well, that's unfortunate. Scott T. Pippin was gifted the birthday cake, and that did not. Oh! I guess we're not eating Scott T's birthday cake. That's a great reaction. Derek Almeida leads off the bottom of the 7th inning here at the Orchard. Pippins lead by 1. The Elks got 2 runs on 3 hits. They left 2 men on base. Francisco Lopez getting the final out there of the 7th inning. Pippins will try to re-extend the lead. It's been a closely contested game here between the Pippins and the Elks. Bend leads the all-time series 29-28. This is the 58th meeting between these 2 teams. 2 balls and no strikes. Here in Yakima, though, the Pippins actually lead the series 17-14, so trying to get a 4-game lead in the all-time series over the Bend Elks here at their home ballpark. Almeida is starting us off on the right foot. He's ahead 3-0. It's the bottom 3 in the order for Yakima Valley, and then hopefully we bleed into the top. Estep still the pitcher, and he starts off the 7th inning with a leadoff walk to Derek Almeida. Good start for the Pippins offensively. Levi Sotomayor, a walk and a lineout. The walk that Levi drew back in the 5th, he was able to come around and score on the Daichi double. That happened with 2 outs. Pippin's trying to do it here with nobody out. Estep has missed with all 5 pitches to start here in the 7th inning, as the Bend Elks bullpen starts to stir ever so slightly. He misses again, and that'll force Galvin to head out and have a chat with his right-hander. 6 straight have missed the strike zone from Estep. Estep 6'3", 230 from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Levi would gladly draw another walk. Pippins try to re-extend the lead. Pipps got 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. The Elks got their 2 in the 7th inning. Derek Almeida having a chat with Coach Panch down there at first base. A southpaw has grabbed a baseball down in the Bend Elks bullpen. That is now 7 straight that have missed. Estep in danger of walking 2 men aboard to start this 7th inning. Got a courtesy strike. Was definitely close. Kyle Sisk gives Estep the benefit of the doubt. Still a 7-to-1 ratio, though, as he's forced to throw on 3-1. That one caught the top of the zone. Levi now in a full count. The arm down in the bullpen for the Elks is the designated hitter Noble Ortega. Payoff on the ground. Will it sneak through? Yes, it will. Fudge couldn't quite get clean leather on it. Levi Sotomayor picks up his first hit of the night. Pippins have him at first and second with nobody out. Levi pulled this ball just enough to keep it out of the glove of Fudge at second. And now the Pippins will call an offensive timeout. Coach Krusty loves to do this with nobody out, especially with runners at first and second or the bases loaded. You've got Jay O'Neill, who has hit leadoff so far this year for the Pippins. You've got Tyson Miller, the leadoff hitter, at the top of the card, due up after O'Neill. Daichi Furuhata, who has a 2 RBI double in this game, would hit after that. So Coach Krusty taking advantage and using one of his couple of offensive meetings to try to re-grab the lead. Usually after those meetings, the Pippins seem to find the plate. Jay O'Neill, 1 for 2 today. Singled and scored back in the 5th. First pitch squares to bunt. He drops it down to third. Jones fielding it. One play, it's to first. And Jay is out. Successful sacrifice for Jay O'Neill. He did his job perfectly. Sack bunting 2 runners into scoring position with only 1 out. And that will be the end of the line for Estep. Signal has been made, and it looks like the designated hitter, Noble Ortega, will come in to pitch. He's a left-handed pitcher as well. And so the Elks will lose their DH. The pitcher's spot will be due up in the 6th hole for Ben the rest of the night. Noble Ortega will get you his numbers when we come back. Welcome back to the Orchard. The new pitcher is Noble Ortega. We've seen him already tonight. He's 2 for 3 at the plate, 2 singles, and RBI. Ortega as a pitcher, 1-1 with a save. He's pitched in 5 games. He's started 1, has thrown 9 innings on the year, striking out 10, walking 6. And so out the window goes the designated hitter as he is now on the mound and throws a first pitch downstairs to Tyson Miller. The infield will play in on the cut of the grass to try to cut down any Pippins runs. Tyson today, 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. He's also stolen a bag. He's got 2 in scoring position thanks to a sacrifice bunt by Jay O'Neill before the pitching change. Bunt, and he is hit. Was he swinging? No. Unfortunately, that means that Almeida and Sotomayor will have to go back to their bases. That was definitely a suicide squeeze type play as Almeida was halfway up the line. Tyson hit by the pitch. The bases are loaded for Yakima Valley with only 1 out. Big opportunity here for Daichi Furuhata. A lefty-righty matchup. The middle infield will play back now that there's a double play opportunity. First pitch, swings and misses. That ball had some downward run. So Ortega, definitely a two-way player, has seen quite a bit of action on the hill. Oh, 1, that was well downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Velocity isn't crazy. Sitting around 82 to 85. Goes out of that full windup, square to the plate with runners at every base. Daichi chops it back up the middle, stepping on the bag for 1. The throw on to first. The ball is dropped. Another run trying to come home to score. Sotomayor is in. Daichi moves on to second as the ball gets away. It cost the Pippins an out, but 2 come home to score. It's now 5-2 Yakima Valley. When you see the ground ball, you think, oh no, it's a double play. But the throw from Sanders was low and could not be picked out by Beck. So Daichi reaches on a fielder's choice. He drives in Almeida and Sotomayor. The folks here at the Orchard now get tacos because we've scored 5 runs. And although Tyson Miller was a sacrifice out there, the Pippins feel much better with a 3-run cushion. First pitch strike here to Nick Velasquez. They rule that Daichi moves on to second base with an error. Likely a throwing error on the first baseman Beck on the throw home that sailed over the catcher Galvin's head. One ball and 1 strike now. Daichi stands out at second. Another insurance run out there in scoring position. Velasquez fouls that one straight back. Couldn't quite get the barrel through the zone. So it's 1-2. And yes, the error is on the first baseman Beck. And so you give Daichi 1 RBI because the fielder's choice, you can't assume the double play. Daichi inching off of second base. Nick takes ball 2. Crazy sequence here in the 7th inning, but Pippins happy to be back up by 3. They get the 2 runs they gave up in the top half of this inning right back. Count runs full. Ortega in risk of extending this inning a little bit farther. It was a surprising move, at least for me, to see Ortega come into this game as the pitcher, because his spot is not due up for 6 hitters in the 8th inning, and unless he continues to pitch, he is going to have to leave this game as a hitter as well. Payoff, misses down and away, ball 4. Pippins have 2 aboard as Velasquez takes his place at first. Luis Garcia a chance to break an offer in a big moment. Garcia flew out in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th, grounded out to the pitcher back in the 6th. He's got 1 man in scoring position right now. That's Daichi Furuhata. Luis was feeling good on the road trip, not just on the baseball field, but off it as well. He's a New York native, and of course the New York Knicks winning the NBA Finals gave him a little bit of extra energy boost. 2 balls and no strikes. I haven't seen quite the extremities that they were preaching would happen if the Knicks won out there in New York. I'm just surprised to see that it took so long to get the NBA season over with. Luis got a piece of it, but it's back into the netting, 2-1. That appears to be Trevor Kaiser out there grabbing the loose ball. Trevor pitched for the Pippins last year. He's, I think, scheduled to pitch one of the next 2 games against Yakima Valley up here. Luis takes a close one, but the count moves to 3-1, and Ortega in danger of walking the bases loaded. There's nobody up in the bullpen for the Elks. So this is Ortega's inning right now, at least, to finish. 3-1, that's strike 2. I mentioned the outer half has been given so far by Kyle Sisk tonight. That was another one. The runners will be off with the pitch. Full count here to Luis Garcia. Ortega brings it home. Luis takes ball 4. Back-to-back walks drawn by the Pippins. Bags loaded for Yakima Valley. 2 away. Abvel Ramos. He asked me today, he said, how do I get to be on the post-game interview? And I said, well, you throw a guy out and you get a couple of hits. We'll see what I can make happen. He's thrown a guy out. He is 1 for 2 today. This hit could be the big blow that the Pippins are looking for. 2 runs already home. Ramos does have a bags-clearing triple in this ballpark. That is his only 3-bagger of the year. Another one here would be great. Sends it out into center field. Nato circling around the ball. He sticks the glove up, and he comes away with the pearl. Ramos flies out to center field to end the inning. The Pippins score 2. They re-extend the lead back to 3, but they strand the bases loaded in the 7th. Top of the 8th is next. We've got 2 innings to play here at the Orchard. Pippins lead it by 3. Francisco Lopez continues to work here for Yakima Valley after getting the third out of the 7th inning. I promise you it's not that dark, as you can see on our screen, but the sun is setting, and it's kind of an interesting angle and an interesting time of day right now. We're not under the light power yet, but the field is cascaded in shadow, except for a small sliver over at first base. Cisco's first pitch is swung and popped up into foul territory on the right side, giving chase Velasquez and Sotomayor, but they're out of room. The wind definitely helped that one get out of the field of play. Cisco definitely well rested. Again, did not travel the second half of the road trip. He was down in Ridgefield, did not pitch. 1-1. And so Cisco with a couple of days away from the team to rest and get ready for what was obviously a situation where we'd need him. He's about a 1-inning guy. 1-1, this is out of play. Francisco trying to bridge the gap to John Witt, who is the team leader in saves. Witt starting to stretch out down in the bullpen for the Pippins. John pitched on Sunday against the Riverhawks, not because it was a save situation, just more so trying to keep his arm fresh. He hadn't pitched in 7 days coming into that outing. 1-2, breaking ball, called strike 3. Ramos knew it immediately. What a pitch from Lopez. Down on strikes is Dmitry Sisidko. El Chingon dropping this one right in the bucket. Here's Keaton Nato. Nato's grounded out to short twice. He's also struck out looking. Want to know here to start the count to Nato. I think the wind has deterred a few people that would have stayed for the whole game from staying, but for the most part, about everybody that was here at the start of the game is here right now. 2-0. Cisco unleashes 83. Decent crowd for Tuesday night. We've got a couple more good promotions for you to come out and join us for the rest of this homestand as we play the Bend Elks. Tomorrow will be Thrift Night. Partnership with local thrift stores. There'll be about 250 items, thrifted items, that we'll be giving away at the gates tomorrow to the first 250 people. Three balls and a strike. And then Thursday will be the Father's Day Dad-a-thon. We'll be celebrating Dad just a few days before Father's Day. Pippins are on the road during Father's Day proper. So bring Dad out to the ballpark Thursday night. 3-1 is sent out a play foul. The count will run full. I'm excited for Father's Day and the surrounding week or so. After our trip from Salem, I actually get to hang out with my dad. My dad's coming up with my mom Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. They get to hang out for a series, and can't wait to see them. Payoff. Sent out towards right. Garcia charging hard over towards the line in the bullpen. He makes the catch. Nice play by Luis. 2 away here in the 8th. Cam Beck scheduled to hit here in the 8th inning with 2 away. And you won't want to miss the Wenatchee homestand, because my dad, who is actually currently right now, I still think, on the air for the North Platte 80s Pecos League baseball team, will be joining me in the broadcast booth Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Kind of a reuniting from my first year of baseball. He and I called games together in 2024, there in North Platte. Wave and a miss. Francisco's got him behind in the count 0-2. Can't wait to see him. Can't wait to call the game with him. Can't wait to talk with my mom on the air. English teacher certainly knows the English lexicon. Francisco trying to send us to the bottom of the 8th. The 0-2. Bounces downstairs. Francisco reared back for a little more. My dad had a double header today. 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I think, were the start times in Central Time. So they might still be on the air, just finishing up. 2-2 now. Cisco pulls it glove side.
Let's try a different one. Everybody stop your feet.
Can't wait to see them. Can't wait to have them on the air. That'll be fun. Trying to get a few more guests on the air this season. 2-2. This is lined well foul. Even lefties can't contain it as it bounces over into the parking lot.
Okay, how about butt bongos? Everybody slap your hams.
Yeah, people didn't get that one. Don't know if you heard the PA. They said slap your hams. Not locked in. Francisco is, though. Here's a 2-2. Breaking ball called. Strike 3 on the outer half. Lopez strikes out a pair in the 8th. An inning and a third for Cisco. We go to the bottom half of the inning. Pippins trying to add on to a 5-2 lead. It's a party here at the Orchard, Scott T. Pippin's birthday party. Well, I mentioned the upcoming schedule. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow, Wednesday, June 17th. Shay, I see your little mistake there. Sorry to call you out in front of all of our audience. June 17th, 6:35 p.m. first pitch. Coverage begins at 6:20. Elks and Pippins game 2. Yakima Valley with one more chance to add on to a 5-3 lead here in the bottom half of the 8th. So glad you're with us here on your Tuesday night. That's coming out of your paycheck, Shay. I really can't say that. Shay's a master at the Photoshop graphics that we use as Trey Godoy takes a strike to start off his at-bat here against Ortega. He designed the graphics package we've been using the last couple of years, has made modifications. He even came in today and gave me the road trip recap graphic that you saw towards the start of the broadcast. He did that, and I didn't even need to ask him to do it. He was just like, I think this would be great for the broadcast. And I was like, Shay, you're a genius. Of course, you can't forget about Marcos over there on the camera. Godoy swings through that one. He has struck out 3 times in his Pippins debut. Tough start for the UCLA Bruin. Derek Almeida will dig in now. 0 for 2, but he drew a walk and scored back in the 7th frame. Our broadcast here at Yakima only looks the way it does because of the hard work of the 2 guys sitting in the booth next to me. First pitch to Almeida, down and in. I would not be in the position I am to call these games if it wasn't for the help of Shay and Marcos. Almeida sends one sky high into the darkening blue. Nato almost lost it for a moment, but regathers. There's 2 outs here in the 8th. John Witt is waiting in the bullpen for his opportunity to pick up his 3rd save of the year. Pippins trying to push it past the save situation here with Levi Sotomayor. 1 for 2, a walk, a single, and 2 runs scored. I'm going to have to ask these guys for help on who the player of the game should be after this game. There's a strike to Levi. You've got a couple of different options. Sotomayor 1 for 2, but he's scored a couple of runs. You've got Daichi, who has 3 RBI. Of course, Austin Dillon going 6 2/3. You've got Francisco Lopez, who went an inning and a third and did not allow anything. No runs, no hits, struck out 2. Got a couple of options. Levi chops it high off the plate out towards second. This is under the glove of Sanders and into center field. Well, Levi picks up his 2nd hit. That also helps sweeten his candidacy for player of the game. Definitely a high chop right off the plate. Sanders tried to pick that on the run, but could not come up with it. Jay O'Neill, the number 9 hitter, had a sacrifice bunt back in the 7th inning that helped set the table for the 2 runs to score. He slices one the opposite way out towards left center field. Sasidko puts it away, and we are done here in the 8th inning. Top of the 9th is next. The Pippins lead it by 3. John Witt looking for his 3rd save of the year when we come back. The top of the 9th inning is upon us. Some folks heading for the exits with the 5-2 lead, but you should probably stick around because John Witt is on the hill for Yakima Valley. Witt making his 6th appearance on the season. He's gone 6 innings of work, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks. He has allowed 4 hits. He has allowed 4 runs, but don't let that fool you. The majority of those hits and runs came on Sunday against the Edmonton Riverhawks in a appearance where the Pippins were down big and they just wanted to give John a chance to throw in a game situation. John with 2 saves on the season, up near the top of the West Coast League lead. And so the Pippins hurler trying to find his 3rd save of the season. He'll face 4, 5, and 6 in the Bend Elks order to try to do so. Ball 1 starts us off to Marcus Galvin, the catcher. You've got Klosek and Ortega due up next. Ortega went that final inning in the 8th to keep his bat in the lineup. Sent foul the opposite way. Makes it 1-1. The league lead in saves is held by a member of the Corvallis Knights. Kellen Siegel has 3, but he's also pitched in 11 games. 1-1. Witt misses upstairs, 2-1. John has only pitched now in 6 games. He's got 2 saves, tied at second with a couple of other players in the West Coast League. So he's looking to move back into a tie for first. On the ground into the Bend Elks dugout, makes it 2-2. Galvin is 0 for 3 today. John trying to make it 0 for 4. He does have 3 of the Bend Elks' 7 hits coming up in the next 2 batters after Galvin. 2-2 softly out towards left. Ranging over Almeida, ranging over Miller. This is a foul ball, and so the drop doesn't matter. Third base coach John Kemp was pleading his case that that was fair. Kyle Sisk says otherwise. The wind was playing tricks on this. Miller was probably the guy with the better chance, but he gave way for Almeida, and it dropped just on the opposite side of that foul line. Two balls and 2 strikes is the count here. Witt with 4 strikeouts on the season, looking for number 5. Breaking ball, that stayed out. Count runs full. Pipps trying to go 1-0 in the green pants. First time that we've worn the greens on the bottom this year. Payoff pitch. Ball 4. Galvin draws a leadoff walk. That is only the 3rd walk issued by Pippins pitching tonight. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Everything else has been fairly routine to the infield and to the outfield. Richie Klosek, 1 for 2. He scored a run in the 7th. John starts off upstairs, 1-0. You've got a couple of bodies heading out towards the bullpen just in case John runs into trouble. That's upstairs as well. And that'll force Ethan Salscheider out of the dugout to have a chat with his closer. Salsa made 1 visit earlier on today, and Austin Dillon unfortunately didn't get out of the situation he was in. Hoping that this meeting by Salsa will be on better fortunes on the back end. Ramos with some encouragement. Salsa also with some encouragement. John Witt telling himself to lock in. We get back to play here. 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out. The man at first is Marcus Galvin. There's a good start after the visit. 2-1. Went with a changeup there at the top of the zone. John getting hitters to whiff at about a 20% rate. There's another whiff. 2-2. Pippins fans here cheering for that first out. John brings it plateward. Wave and a miss. Good response after the mound visit by Salsa. 1 away here in the 9th. John able to battle back from down 2-0. Here's the pitcher now, Noble Ortega. Ortega came in the 7th inning, pitched the remaining 2 outs in that inning, and then pitched the full 8th. One and 0. John missing high and away there. And so Ortega, because he pitched the 8th inning, able to stay in as a batter. Had he been pulled, then it would be whoever the pitcher was, and then likely a pinch hitter. 1-0 off the hands and into the stands. Clangs up against GA. The race for the ball, won by the fan in red. That was quite the celebration. That kid didn't even get the ball, and he's screaming, yeah. One. This is foul as well, but not quite as deep. It bounces into lefties. One ball and 2 strikes. John working ahead in the count now. John being used in quite a few high leverage situations for the Pippins so far this year. 1-2 on the ground, might be a third double play. There's one, on to first. Levi down on the bag. The game is over. The Pippins turn a third double play to get back in the win column. John Witt closes off a 5-2 victory. Relive the last play. Nick on to Derek. On to Levi, who was able to get back down on the bag in time to retire the out. That's a way to end a ball game if you're the Pippins. 5-2 the final score. The win going to be given to Austin Dillon. The loss will be charged to Tyler Wood, who gave up 1 run. But the Elks never got the lead after that. Couple of standouts in this one, other than Dillon going 6 2/3, giving up only 2 runs. You had Levi Sotomayor with 2 hits, Daichi with a big 2 RBI double back in the 5th. Of course, John Witt getting the save, his 3rd of the year. We've got our choice of folks to talk to down on the field for the postgame. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for Game 2 between these 2 teams. Yakima Valley will be looking for the series win. Final score in this contest, Yakima Valley 5, Bend 2. For everybody associated with the Yakima Valley Pippins, for my video crew, Shay and Marcos, I'm Harmon Johnson, signing off for now, saying stay safe. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at 6:35 for Game 2 between the Elks and the Pippins. Final score again, Yakima Valley 5, Bend 2. Yakima Valley wins it, and you've been watching Pippins Baseball.